Thank you very much. Sumaira Akram says that there's a debate that Islamism and Islamism-inspired non-state groups invited Islam in the public sphere to harness their political anti-colonial narratives through violence and militancy and terrorism. Since Pakistan is 96% Muslim majority and Islamist-inspired terrorist groups infiltrated Pakistani society on a larger scale, and at the same time, the Pakistani nationalism project is conflated with religious nationalism. So how do you see decolonization project making a lot of academic transformation through introducing decolonial legal frameworks and education policies, when at the same time Pakistani state and power nexus originates from the colonial age sown seeds?
Yeah, this is a really good question, and I think very multifaceted and a complicated one. So as mentioned, obviously, me being a foreigner, I can work on certain aspects of decolonization, and there are others that I can't. And I think at the end of the day, as you say, decolonization has to be desired by the people and by the government. I think you're right to mention the anti-colonial nature of certain violent groups. I would probably resist calling them Islamist groups, because I think that Islam and terrorism are inherently polar opposites, really. Islam doesn't justify terrorism. But yeah, if you look at groups, say like the TLP, and especially the way in which they're anti-colonial, especially towards the French, but the Americans as well, and how that's kind of linked to their kind of violent agendas, particularly in the context of the so-called blasphemy laws and how they respond to certain situations, especially in France with Charlie Hebdo, between anti-colonialism and violence, and of course with the case of America as well, anti-imperialism in the wake of the war on terror, because of the disproportionate effect of that conflict on especially the northern regions of Pakistan. So I can see how there is this difficult side of it too, with the link between anti-colonial groups and violence. But trying to answer your question, yeah, this is why it's tricky, because ultimately it has to be desired by the people who are in power in order to make it a reality. And of course, if you look at the scholarship of the decolonial scholarship in Pakistan today, a lot of that is equally looking at Pakistan's internal situation as much as it is looking at the way in which British colonialism or American neocolonialism has affected Pakistan. So for them, it's as much about the power nexus within Pakistan as it is about the British colonial and American colonial legacies in the area. So yeah, I would just say it has to be something that the government and the people desire, and whether or not that will happen, we'll have to kind of wait and see. But sorry, your question was very complicated and multifaceted, so I hope that was all right.